Hello and welcome. In this video we are going to take a little bit of a look at this Makita vacuum cleaner. It's a DVC750L brushless. But I've just got hold of it non-working, so let's see what it does and it doesn't do. Battery up. What I'm going to do before trying to turn it on, which, oh yeah, that was a good idea, is put that out the way because we didn't have a filter on it. Let's have a little look underneath. It looks like somebody's been hoovering dust up with this without a bag on it, without a filter in place. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, it's running, but it's significantly off balance. So, what's caused that? Let's see if we can take the thing apart. Let's have a little look, see. I'll find some tools back in a second. Okay, as we can actually see, I can see the blades inside there, and it looks like they've actually got a build-up of crud on them. I mean, this is definitely covered in it. So let's take it apart. So some of these screws I'm having out like that then. 4, 5, 6 screws. I believe that's the lot. Okay, so I'm just pushing down on the bottom bit, so I've got I'm against the plastic bit at the bottom and just pushing up on the black bit. Right, so the panel here, I've just pushed it in and it slides down. And that's just got us inside. So we've got a switch here for the 2 speeds, battery meter on the end here, battery holder, brushless motor. So I think first thing I'm going to do is take the battery holder off. Okay. That out the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take these screws off here. Okay. What lift out of there? Yeah. And then that's lifted off there. Okay, I'm going to put that over to one side. That's our motor assembly. Oh my god, can you see that? Give me a second. Well, that's going to cause our imbalance, isn't it? There's a layer of what looks like plaster on there. Right, so what I'm going to just sort of try and start off by doing to see if this improves it is literally in situ. I'm just pushing the paintbrush into the gap. kind of doubt that's going to be a fix, but let's have a little, see if that's made any improvement. No. No. No, not at all. I'm a little bit concerned, actually, in all fairness, that something's really badly damaged. What I've just noticed, I'm hoping it is actually balancing marks from where it's been balanced originally. See there? 2 chunks of metal missing, but it does look like they've been cut out. Yeah, I mean, there's still crap in there. Ugh. What I'm going to try putting this socket on an impact driver. Is our balancing problem? See the actual, if I compare this to my fingernail, you see the size of these chunks. Okay, let's do that again. Battery's going flat. Great little adapter for the Dyson. Put a Makita battery on it. They do them for the other brands as well. Oh. What the frog? There we go again. Should we see if that's improved our balance? I mean, some of those chunks, it's got to have, hasn't it? Well, hey, look at that. I think we're onto a win here. So I've not been able to take the nut off here, but by giving it an aggressive spin backwards, using a nut buster, it's thrown out the crud, and that has just made an amazing difference. I mean, I'm just looking here, I can still see a couple of areas, so I think I'm just going to go round and anything I can see manually still just sort of clean out. Right, so we're giving this a good clean. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to set about putting this back together. And before anybody notices, yes, there's a small amount of moisture still on here. It will evaporate. I've had to be quite careful with this bit, with getting moisture on it, because I didn't want to get water in the motor. But It's going to collect dust again as soon as it gets used. This has been used without a filter on it by the looks of it, and somebody has hoovered up the cement. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, then we turn this over. The electronics unit goes in here. This clips into here. And then I'm going to put the battery assembly back on here. I will get a paintbrush and a hoover on this and just give it another quick clean off in a minute. But this is now together enough for us to be able to test it and see whether it actually does anything that it should do. Let's put a battery on it and put it the right way around. It's alive. That is moving some air. Well, that's quite an interesting little fix that was, to find those various that fault on it, that purely and simply the machine just needed cleaning. I'm going to find my paintbrush and just give this a clean, and then we'll go ahead and put the top back on it, put the bottom back on it, and then reassemble it into its case. Before I put this back together, I thought we'd just have a quick look at what's in this machine. Obviously, that's a brushless motor. We've got the wiring for the 3 phases on there for the power. And this thin wire here that goes back to the controller is a Hall effect device that tells it how fast the motor's turning. So it knows if it's stalled, it knows whether it's running faster, slower, whatever. A fairly hefty switch that is putting power to 1 or 2 terminals, which is then feeding into the controller to give it the speed. A little board with 2 wires on it that's going straight to the battery supply, and that's telling your battery level. In here we've got a inverter. This is taking the 18 volts DC and making it into 18 volts 3-phase AC. The frequency is fairly high. The higher the frequency, the faster the motor goes. So it's spitting out 2 lots of frequency out of there to give you 2 different speeds. It's got wiring going back to the battery for a temperature sense, I would say, because it's not connected up here, so it's probably a temperature sensor on the battery. They are taking data back from the battery here, and there's your main power. That's about all I can tell you about this from what I know about this sort of style of electronics. But next thing we're going to do is put the top back on this. Put this back on. I've clipped that back in here along the bottom. So I'm hoping that as long as I sort of align everything up, that it should. All just click into place like that, and it has. So let's put some screws in. A couple of these I can do with the power driver. I think it's 3 I could do with this. We took 6 screws out of this. Okay. Down there. Down there. Finally. Down there. So there's a filter assembly that we'll click onto here that we need to make sure is in place before we go any further. So let's pop this on the bottom and we'll just check that it's working. Battery in there. Still a little noise from it, but that has made that into a perfectly serviceable machine that can be used for portable vacuuming. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it gave you an overview of what's inside one of these machines and what can happen if it's not looked after.